Today is Tuesday, September 29th, 2015, and today's rant will be on the budget that's going to be kicked down the road till December 11th of this year. So apparently they got rid of Ted Cruz today in the Senate, and they're going to pass a budget tomorrow night in the House, hours before the government would run out of money. They basically kicked the can down the road until December 11th. Now, a lot of things are going to happen between now and December 11th that will really affect the 2016 election, and could be some crazy things that are going around here. Now, the first thing was that there was something today that Boehner spoke about, that, hey, I just might be able to increase the, the deficit. We might be able to raise the deficit before I leave here. Now, remember, the debt ceiling is due to go out in late November or early December. And he might be able to raise that here. So he's doing two things. He's letting them know that's what he's going to do, or he's letting them know that's what he's thinking about doing, to see what the competition is going to bring to that. It's not necessarily a big thing, but the longer it plays out, the more crazy it's going to get. But between now and then, let's go about what is going to happen. By the end of October, the Highway Trust Fund needs to be renewed. It's been kicked down the road, same amount of money, several different times in the last year or so. Both Republicans, let's just say normal Republicans, corporate Republicans, and all Democrats, or most Democrats, want the Highway Trust Fund because building roads, bridges, tunnels, trusses, highways, etc. Is important for the country, and it's important to have that funding so that long-term projects, multi-year projects can get started, and that the money is there for them to be completed. Very important stuff. But the thing is, we haven't increased anything to the Highway Trust Fund in a long time. And the main thing of the Highway Trust Fund is based on the gasoline tax, which I believe is about 19.3 or 19.4 cents per gallon, which hasn't been raised since 1993 to 1994. Now, again, the Republicans don't want to have any tax increases whatsoever, but they do, want to have the Highway Trust Fund not only extended, but more money put to it. If we were to bring the amount of money based on inflation from the Highway Trust Fund, which should have been done in 1994 but wasn't, if we had brought that amount in, we would need to add about 12 cents to a gallon. From the looks of it right now, the way gas prices are, I believe near me it's like what the hell is it, $2.29, something like that, that you could easily do that. Or one of the options was you raise it 6 cents right away, and then you raise it 1 cent every quarter, for the next couple quarters until it's up to 12 cents, and then tie it to inflation. Now remember, all the money that would have been used for that between 1994 and now, if the gasoline tax had been pegged to inflation, man, we wouldn't have this trouble where we are about $1 or $2 trillion in debt in terms of road and bridge repair work all over the place. So that thing's going to be a big thing. And remember, Republicans don't want to increase if anything is increased on the Highway Trust Fund, they're going to say it has to come from something else, and it cannot come from taxes. So in line of that, there's also the Export-Import Bank. The reason why this is important, the Export-Import Bank, is because to the Republicans who want to get rid of it, the Tea Party types, it's the low-hanging fruit. It has the lowest budget of all of the departments, or whatever else they want to get rid of. And if they can get rid of this, that's just the start. So this is the low-hanging fruit. I believe it only has about 400 employees. It has never lost any money. It has returned all of its money to the Treasury at the end of each year, that it gets refinanced or whatever. And that have they lost money on an individual deal? Of course they have, just like any bank has. But they've made money for the Treasury. They paid the money back to the Treasury. And the Tea Party, they're using it not because they say it's inefficient, it's corporate welfare and all that other stuff. That's just what they're trying to do, to try and make you think that we should get rid of it. They're doing it because it's the lowest hanging fruit, and if they can get rid of that, then the courts, they can get rid of all of that. Now remember, I just talked about a minute ago the debt ceiling, which needs to be raised in late November or early late December. Now, that's sort of an easy thing to do, and if Boehner does it, beforehand, that's fine too. But all kinds of crazy stuff can get attached to this. The Planned Parenthood thing, that could easily get attached to the debt ceiling. Now, the debt ceiling is different than the budget, but we need to get the debt ceiling raised. It's a normal thing to do. Should we try and bring our expenses down? Yes, we should. Are there ways to do that? Yes, there are. Are the Republicans practicing in good faith in reference to that? No, they're not. Now, we suffered not a credit default, but our credit rating was downgraded because of the Republican shenanigans a couple of years ago in reference to the debt ceiling. We don't want to have that ever again. We want to have our AAA plus rating forever. Remember, everyone wants to put their money into dollars, and they want the United States government, the full faith and credit of the United States government, to back the money that they put into us. We are the world's bank in that regard. We don't want to have that type of stuff. So, that can get awfully crazy also. Now, remember, in line with the budget itself, which is going to be coming up for renewal on December 11th. Now, the Republicans want to fund something to a much greater extent. The Defense Department, I believe $38 billion or something like that. And of course, they do not want, as part of the sequestration, it was that if anything got raised in the defense, then you also had to raise it an equal amount in all of the other agencies, or some mathematical formula to that. Now, the Republicans want to raise the defense. Obama wants to raise the defense. The Democrats want to raise the defense budget, but they want to do it by they either have some type of tax increase. Maybe there can be some offsets. I'm not sure. But what the Republicans want to do is they want to put it into something called OCO, Overseas Contingency Operations. And this is what Bush did in the Iraq War. They put all this money into the war, and then when it came up to the budget time, they said, oh, that's an off-the-book expense. We're not going to count that against the budget. So what Bush actually did is he paid for the budget by taking a credit card out and saying, we're going to pay for this all later. We'll pay the interest on it. We're not going to pay for it now, because he didn't want to raise any taxes according to that. So that's what the Republicans want to do with the Pentagon, increasing on the Pentagon. So there's all kinds of crazy things that are going to happen. Also, at the same time, there are some tax extenders, meaning that there are some tax breaks that were given that basically expire at the end of this year, December 31st. I can't think of any of them offhand. I haven't read up on that. But let's just say a tax credit for solar energy, or a tax credit for wind energy, or some type of tax credits for oil companies, just to offset the two. So some of these things may be important. Some of them may need to be extended. Some of them maybe we should get rid of. I'm not really sure. But they will come up, and some of them will definitely be extended. But again, how are you going to pay for that? Because you're giving a credit to someone to have a tax deduction so that they'll invest in something. Where's the offset on that? Don't see that at all. Now, in line of all of the stuff that I've just talked about, in line of the fact that there will be a new Speaker of the House when this happens, and that some of the most stringent and ardent conservatives are also running for Speaker of the House. And if they don't get it, there's still going to be major players in the House. What are they going to do with the next budget in December 11th, when it comes to the whole Planned Parenthood things? Forget what you want to say about Planned Parenthood, either positive or negative. They're going to be holding up the entire budget of the United States, $2 to $3 trillion, for something that's worth about $500 million. And remember, from a Democratic standpoint of view, the Democrats favor funding Planned Parenthood by about 80% to 20%. The Republicans, I believe, do not. They favor it by like 54%, something like that. And independents favor funding Planned Parenthood by about 63%. All of it not to have any type of shutdown because of it. So we will see what type of crazies might be going on. But a lot of things are going to be going on. There's going to be a lot of behind-the-scenes negotiations. There's going to be a lot of crying and a lot of yelling and screaming. They're going to hit, and of course, at the same time, they're going to hit Hillary the whole time. But this is going to be not a cakewalk. This is going to be the revenge, the revenge of the Tea Party, because they're going to want to extract their revenge if they don't get any type of traction on Planned Parenthood.